And let's talk to someone now who knew her forever, worked with her professionally as a news journalist, as a businessman in the city. Joel Rubin joins us on the phone right now. Joel, we knew this was happening. Still, it is painful.
Well, it's painful. It's a blessing, though, as they say. You know, Meyera's been suffering from Alzheimer's disease now for, a while, and it's a terrible disease and a terrible burden on the family and, of course, on Meyera. So she lived a good life. She lived 74 years. Her birthday actually was last month in February. And she gave a lot, as Andy said, to her city. She gave her life to the city and was mayor for 20 years, was on city council before that, and served on the state library board after she left as mayor, and which was appropriate given that's how she started in public service.
Joel, one thing real quick, Joel Rubin is a dear old friend and a former, used to work here at WAVY.
Yeah.
Joel, you were the political reporter here. You were also a dear and treasured friend to her, I know. As you're looking back across her life, what is that thing that really sticks out to you that you take away from as what defined Meyera Oberndorf?
Meyera was the only child of Louis Ellenson, who was a very well-known lawyer over in Newport News who fought for the little guy. And he instilled that in Meyera. And she rose through the ranks of politics in Virginia Beach, which became her adopted city, by fighting for the little guy. She was the populist candidate when she first ran for city council back in the mid-'70s, and kind of thumbed her nose at the power structure in the city. And that's how she came up, and people really looked to Meyera to be the people's representative on city council. I mean, she represented the Kempsville borough, but she represented all people across the city. And then when they first went to direct election of the mayor in '88, she ran, and so she became not only the first woman mayor of Virginia Beach, but also the first directly elected mayor of the city. So she then had to sort of spread her wings and represent everybody. And she never lost her touch with the people, and she always had her father kind of sitting on her shoulder telling her what she was supposed to do and how she was supposed to represent people and represent herself. And then she was married to Roger, who was a political animal of the highest order, and the two of them became just a real political couple. They had two daughters, Heidi and Marcy, and then she's got grandchildren, two grandchildren down in Charlotte. And she's very close with her family. So it was just an amazing family story, but amazing political story. And Andy, as you know, she was a shrewd politician. She knew who her friends were and who her enemies were, but she kept her friends close and her enemies closer, and was able to survive in politics for 20 years, which is quite an accomplishment.
And what's really amazing is, Joel, as we all know, money makes politics run. And it's often said the one that raises the most amount of money is the one who wins. But what you're bringing up is that she was so connected, she was so loved. Really, when you look back at her past elections, Joel, she raised the least amount of money. She raised the least amount of money because she didn't need the money, because she had the people. And as Louis Ellenson, who often shared this with me, she doesn't need the money because she's got the people.
Well, that's right. I mean, she never wanted to put signs up. I don't think she ever did put any signs up because she didn't want to litter the streets with a bunch of political signs. I mean, I worked on two of her campaigns after I went into business. And very tight budgets, and we ran a few ads in the Beacon, but got her out there. And I think Roger's philosophy was keep Meyera out there between elections, and then when it came election time, people would know who she was. And she went and read to kids and showed up at events, and she was close with the Filipino community and the Catholic community. But as a Jewish person, Meyera made us all very proud. She was always said, "Look, I'm the little Jewish woman." She always had that little step thing that she had to stand on to get up to the podium to speak. I mean, she was very proud of her heritage, very proud of what she did for women, and a lot of other women who ran for office always came to Meyera to ask for their advice and guidance, and she was always, willing to do it because she understood what a sort of a pathfinder she was.
I think I remember having a conversation with you, Joel, when you were involved in her campaigns. I said, "Where's her advertising? Where is her advertising? Where are the TV commercials? And I think I remember you saying something to what you just alluded to. She doesn't want to advertise. She doesn't care about going out to raise the money to throw it into advertising when all she wanted to do was to be out with the people, and in between the elections and doing that and being sincere about it, she thought that'd be enough to win, and she was right.
And I can almost hear folks in the community saying if only other politicians would do the same.
Well, you have to be able to do what Meyera did and be able to devote the time. You know, she wasn't working. She didn't have a full-time job that she was doing. Her full-time job was being mayor of Virginia Beach. And she also got very involved in the National League of Cities and the Mayor's Association, the Virginia Municipal League, and all that. I mean, she just really loved the whole position of being mayor and everything to do with it. And you know, we began to miss her, you know, in January of 2009 when she went out of office, and now we're going to miss her some more. But she had, you know, had a good life, and I'm proud. I know Andy is, and all of us who either covered her or worked for her or worked with her. We're proud to have known her.
Well, I'll tell you this, Meyera Oberndorf loved you, Joe Rubin. She sure did, and she told me that on a couple of occasions, and you meant a lot to her.
Well, thank you, Andy.
Joe Rubin, thank you very much. Andy Fox will be talking more with you about Meyera Oberndorf. Meyera Oberndorf passes at age 74. We'll be right back after this.